Good morning. We are live. Man, I tell you what, I ooh, I am super excited about the results that we had last night. We have one hell of a primary election. Little bit of mixed emotions because we had so many great candidates. I mean, just so many great candidates, and there can be only one. That means there had to be a loser, and that is heartbreaking as hell. But the way this is shaken out has just made me so damn proud. So let's get into it. Let's get into it. Good morning, everybody. Man, I tell you what, I hope your coffee is as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I hope you're having a great cup of coffee this morning because I tell you what, we have got some work to do. Time to get busy. It's time to be ride or die Democrats. We had our primary election. We put it all out there. These candidates fought their asses off. Respect. Show them respect. They work their asses off. I see you keep saying this, keep asking this. I'm not going to tell you. I'm just not. Emotions are very raw right now. I publicly, very much openly supported both candidates. That's the way it's going to be. That's going to way it's going to be. Who I walked into the booth and voted for, that's my business. But let's do this. Let's do this. We have a Democratic candidate for governor in Jeannie Hinojosa. She smoked the field. She did. She just, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. She is going to be a juggernaut going forward. She really is. Um, I had I'm not going to lie. I had reservations. I did. You never know exactly where this is going to go. You never know exactly how good a candidate is going to be. And then I got to see her in person on the field. I got to see the way people interacted with her. Um, the way she just wins a crowd over. The way she just, I mean, I'm telling you, she's a natural at this. She is. She's going to be fantastic. On top of the fact that she is incredibly sharp, incredibly intelligent, that she is real. I'm just talking about the interpersonal, the way she just I'm telling you, I love politics. I do. Politics is my addiction. It really is. And good candidates are my drug. And I'm telling you, watching her in person just 100% won me over. It did. It 100% won me over. She's going to be an amazing candidate for governor. Um, let's get into the Senate race. I'm not going to talk too much about lieutenant governor. Those are going to that race is going on to a runoff in May. And I'm not going to talk too much about attorney general. That one is going on to a runoff in May. So yeah, I don't put my thumb on the scale. I don't. I don't put my thumb on the scale. That is not what I do here. Um, yes, I support candidates. Yes, I walk into the booth and vote for my own personal reasons, but I elect Democrats. So we're going to take those two races and we're going to put them to the side. We've got a lot to talk about with what happened in the Senate race. Of course, James Talerico came out on top. There was a lot of discussion last night about Dallas County and Williamson County. But before we get to that, I would like to read this comment put out by Jasmine Crockett this morning. Such class. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I teared up when I read this. I mean, it just because I know how hard these candidates work. I get to see it up close. I get to see how much they put into this. And in just reading this, it broke my heart. I mean, you don't want either one of them to lose. You don't want either one of them to lose. But yeah, this is good. This is good. This morning I called James and congratulated him on becoming the Senate nominee. Texas is primed to turn blue, and we must remain united because this is bigger than any one person. This is about the future of all 30 million Texans, getting America back on track with the primary behind us. Democrats must rally around our nominees and win. I'm committed to doing my part, and I will continue working to elect Democrats up and down the ballot. You just can't get a classier reaction than that. I mean, and I just want you to appreciate, where she is as a candidate. I mean, she's in combat mode. I mean, that doesn't just go away just because the election happened. I mean, she's fighting it out. For her to make that turn, that pivot, that says so much about Jasmine Crockett as a person. It says, I mean, think about that for a minute. I mean, she is battling this out. She just had over 800,000 people show up and support her. And now she's got to come out this morning and she's got to make a concession. Incredible. Just incredible. Just incredible the way she handled this. I mean, you just cannot love her enough. You just really can't. You just really can't. This is a question we're getting a lot. Jasmine Crockett is going to go into after January of next. She's going to continue to be a congresswoman until January of next year when the next Congress is seated. Her district went away. It was gerrymandered out of existence. So we're going to be losing her in government, but I assure you, she is not going away. She is not going away. There was a person that made a comment about James Talerico, and we can't have a pastor as a candidate. And one, you don't know much about James Talerico. And two, we're ride or die around here. We don't fuck Democrat candidates. He's the man on the ballot, and that's who we fight for. You could take your personal shit and you can pack it the fuck up and you can get the fuck out of here and never come back. That's how I feel about it. We elect Democrats around here. I'm tired of these people that don't know fuck all about politics, trying to be the smartest person in the fucking room and thinking we've got to listen to their fucking bullshit. I'm sick of it. I am sick of it. We have a candidate. We back that fucking candidate. You want to be the smartest person in the fucking room? Get the fuck out of my show. Shut your goddamn door and be alone. And that's the only way you'll be the smartest person in the fucking room. It's time to get to work. And I want to put some things to bed. And one of it is this. One of the things is this. There was a lot on the news yesterday and a lot of Jasmine Crockett supporters that were really 100% very upset last night. Understandably so. Very understandably so. Very understandably so. I mean, her supporters worked their ass off. And to see stuff like this go on, it just had to be It's enraging to see it happen. But I would not serve you. I would not serve you if I didn't explain actually what happened there. The narrative that came out on social media versus what really happened are two different things. And I want you to stick with me. I'm going to explain it so that you understand. This immediately got legs, and people that weren't from Texas, to be honest with you, put a narrative out there that this was shenanigans, this was dirtiness, this was the Republican Party trying to kill Jasmine Crockett's ability to win. I mean, it got a life of its own immediately because people were very upset. People were very emotional, very. And I understand that. I get it. I get it. We have had some time to distance ourselves, and I think we can have the conversation. What happened? What happened? Okay. To begin with, you've got to have just a little bit of background information about what's happening here in Texas, specifically Williamson County and Dallas County with the Republicans. And before we get into that, I'm going to read a couple comments. Virgo Moon, welcome. Welcome. Mike Daly, welcome. Glad to see all the new members. Glad to see. Catch my whiff. Frustrated for Jasmine. I think James got a boost from Colbert mess, but I think he's a great candidate. Yeah, no doubt. Colbert really boosted him. He really did. This, Jasmine Crockett may have won it if that does, but that's reality. That's what it is. That's what it is. He got such a boost out of that. Christopher Daly, Jasmine she's wonderful. She is wonderful. She is. Skeet Sayre. It also helps that she is so beautiful because of those eyes. Yeah, she really is. I'm telling you, folks, Jasmine Crockett is not done. She is not done. I am telling you. She's going to go back. She's going to practice law for a little bit. She's probably going to be involved in some lobbying. I'm guessing here. I don't know. I'm guessing. Probably involved in some lobbying. I don't think she's done in D.C., to be honest with you. Stephen Leach, thank you. New number, same flavor. I don't exactly know what you mean there, brother. I don't, Stephen. E.T., what about the F around with the ballot locations? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Skeet Sayre, Jimmy Carter was a pastor, and he was one of the best. Yes, that's. I'm telling you. I know I lost my temper. I did, and I apologize for losing my temper to the person I just yelled at. I apologize to you for losing my temper. I do. I am very frustrated by the comments that are coming out, and it showed. It showed. Jordan B. Miller, last night in Texas proves state offices matter. 100%. 100%. 100%. Daryl Curzon, thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate you. Spicy Justin, MAGA Mike Johnson had the audacity to say Congress using its authority to vote on the legality of this war is dangerous. You know what's dangerous to democracy? Mike Johnson. Amen. We're going to talk about Iran later in the show. We are. And I've got a clip from you from Mike Johnson. It's just, the Republicans are pathetic. They are. The Hen House, a little something for you. Tip jar, Paul. Keep up the great. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I really do. And again, I apologize. I do apologize for going off the handle, but I have ingested so much stupid shit. So let's dig into this. Let's dig into this Dallas Williamson County thing. All right, the background baseball on that. Republicans are in full freak out mode in the state of Texas, particularly Williamson County. I know Dallas got most of the attention, but I'm telling you, it's Williamson County that set this off. Williamson County is north of Travis County. You've got Travis County, and Travis County is Austin. All right. Even before real estate, began to boom, Austin real estate was sizzling hot. I mean, expensive. I mean, stupid expensive. You had the tech expansion into Austin. A lot of companies, like, say, AMD, they didn't buy land in Austin. They bought land north of Austin, Williamson County. You've got this corridor from Austin up into Williamson County of just big tech. So Williamson County went from being this little, there's actually a joke there, not really a joke, but a discussion about the fact how all the old folks in Williamson County are dying off, and their kids are inheriting 1,000-acre ranches, 500-acre ranches. They're selling them. The real estate is so expensive. These kids are becoming millionaires overnight. By breaking this property up and selling it. That's been a discussion that's been going on in Williamson County. So you're watching Williamson County become highly educated. It's a boom area. Which means Democrats. Intelligent people are moving into Williamson County, which means it's going from blood, deep red to immediately. I'm talking a matter of just a few years. It's turning blue. And Republicans are freaking the fuck out about it. And because Republicans don't live in reality, that little explanation I just gave you for what's happening in Williamson County, they no savvy. They cannot wrap their brains around that. We got to be cheating, man. We got to be cheating. There's no way Williamson County's turning blue. So they're also in full freak out about Dallas County, because it is a Democratic stronghold. Anywhere Democrats dominate, they must be cheating. So these Republicans that cannot accept reality demanded hand counts in their votes. They can't demand hand counts in the Democratic primaries. Only the Democrats can do that. But the Republicans demanded hand counts in Williamson and Dallas County. And the reason they did it wasn't because they were smart enough to say, ooh, this will cause problems for the Democrats. No, it's because they're literally in full freakout mode about losing these two counties. Here's where it gets to be a problem. This is where it gets to be a problem. All right. When I go to vote here, the systems that we've got all over the place. All right. The systems that we've got, this is the way it works. I walk in, I hand my ID to a guy that is sitting at a table. He's got a machine. He puts my ID on a tray in the machine, and it scans it. Used to work that when you walked in to vote, there was a person there with a list. And that person, that was some shady shit that was going on. So I'm telling you, this is actually an improvement, okay? There used to be a lot of shady shit. You'd walk in, that person would know you were a Democrat, and can't find your name. I mean, you're on the list. You know what I mean? You're on the list. Oh, I can't find your name. None of that shit happens anymore. It's all computerized. They scan your ID. That is one machine. There's 4 machines involved. That's one machine. It scans. It generates you a number, a ballot number. You take that machine, that receipt that they give you with that number on it, to a second machine. Okay? You've signed in the first one. It generates you a ballot where it prints a barcode with that number on it. That is now your ballot. It's blank, completely blank, except for the barcode that corresponds to your number, and it has your signature on the side of it, digitally printed on there. Okay, so we're at machine number 2. Machine number 1, we scanned our ID, signed in, we chose we're going to vote, and you choose to vote for Democrat or Republican. Go to the second machine, it prints your ballot out based on that number. All right. Then you take and you stand in a line and you wait to vote. Then you go to the third machine, you plug your ballot in. You do all your voting, all your electronic voting. And when you're done, sucks your ballot in, prints it out, and then spits it back out to you. You're done with your third machine. You have voted on your third machine. Then, and this is where it gets tricky, you turn around and there's a fourth machine. You carry that ballot to the fourth machine, you put it in, and it counts your ballot. It counts how you voted and stores your ballot in that machine so that nobody can take it, nobody can mess with it. It is a paper ballot. It's done that way because at each individual station, say somebody checks in, but they're not issued a ballot. The system tells us, okay, there was a problem there. Or you get a ballot and you don't vote. Okay, there was a problem. Something happened. Or you voted and it never got counted. There's audit trails for each one of these stations, right? Here's where it gets to be a problem. And this is where it got to be a problem last night. Now follow me. We talked about how it works. At that first station, when you check in and hand them your ID, it says you want to be a Democrat or a Republican. You got to choose. You got to choose. All right. So I, of course, chose Democrat. Fast forward to the fourth station. There is no separate machine for Democratic ballots and Republican ballots. You chose that at the first machine. Okay. So when they demanded hand counts for their ballots, that means they had to have a completely separated system so that those ballots didn't go all into the same box, because they're not allowed to touch the Democratic ballots. They had to have a completely separated system. That's where the separate polling places came into place. So that it wasn't confusing. Republicans were supposed to go to one polling place. Democrats were supposed to go to another polling place. This was announced in advance. No one hid this. This is where I'm talking about. Yes, Republicans are going to make shit hard. Yes, are you understanding? In order for them to get all of their ballots so they can do their hand count and figure out that, yeah, they're actually losing Williamson County, nobody's cheating you, they had to have a separate polling place to keep everything separate. And it's just these two counties. It's the two counties that are turning blue and they don't know what, and they can't wrap their head around that they're fucking losing. Right? So this created a situation where we're going to have different polling places. All right? Overwhelmingly, the polling places that you went to was the same one. They did not move all Democrats just to make it confusing for Democrats. That didn't happen. Tons of Democrats voted in the normal place that they go to vote. That happened in Dallas and Williamson County. There were some, and enough to make it frustrating, that their polling place moved. Same thing happened with the Republicans, by the way. Some of their polling places moved. Right? But none of this was hidden. The Democratic Party in Dallas County knew. The Democratic Party in Williamson County knew. Everybody knew. It was on the news. They spent like $1 million telling everybody this. But because we believe in democracy and enough people were confused, the Talerico campaign and the Crockett campaign went to the county judge in Dallas and Williamson County and said, hey, democracy, man. We got people that want to vote. This is very confusing. It's not illegal. It's not immoral. It's not wrong, but it's confusing. People are not, we want everybody to be able to vote. Both campaigns did that. The county judge in Dallas County said, yeah, you're right. It's confusing. Keep the polls open a little bit longer. The lines are long. That's another way. When I tell you Republicans are going to cheat, they're going to cheat. They are. They're going to cheat. And they're going to cheat using the system. All right? This ballot was one of the longest ballots I've ever voted on. This is the first time when I went to vote in my area, I had to wait I had to wait to vote. I had a wait time. That never happens here because that ballot was so damn long, it slowed people down. And it was so damn long because there were the stupidest propositions. That's what they did. They loaded the ballot with tons of propositions and made it take forever for people to go, doop, okay, let me read this proposition. Doop, let me read this proposition. Doop, let me read this proposition. Doop, let me read this proposition. They made the voting stupidly long. So there were lines, right? Okay. Here's where it gets really messed up. Ken Paxton goes to the Texas Supreme Court, asks for an emergency stay. The Texas Supreme Court hasn't ruled whether these votes can be counted or not counted or whatever. He asked for a stay. He said the county judge, election official exceeded their authority. They're keeping the polls open too long. We need to stop that. So the Supreme Court said, okay, wait a minute. We're going to have to look at this. I need you to take, and this is where it gets really fucked up, people. This is where it gets really fucked up. The Supreme Court is telling these counties, you've got to figure out where the end of the line was at 7:00. Because remember, if you were in line at 7:00, you get to vote. And your vote will be counted after 7:00. So the timestamps are meaningless. They know they had long lines. They're going to have to try to figure out a way. And it's only a couple polling places. This is not hundreds of polling places they have to do this. They're going to have to try to figure out where the end of the line is. And what they're going to end up doing is throwing their hands up and just say, count the fucking ballots, because it just doesn't make a difference. And that's the key takeaway. That's the key takeaway. In the end of this, Talerico ran up the score everywhere outside of Dallas County and Harris County were the two main counties where Jasmine Crockett really rocked it. Really rocked it. I mean, she won a couple other counties, but Harris County, if you know, that's Houston, and Dallas County is Dallas. That's where she put her big numbers up. Everywhere else, almost completely, Talerico, I'm talking San Antonio, Austin, Williamson County, that area, he ran the score up. So at the end of the day, the math don't math for Jasmine Crockett. There were not enough people delayed. This whole kerfuffle, while frustrating, has zero effect on the election. Zero effect. Even if they say count every ballot, even if every person in these couple of polling places had never been confused, it would not have affected the outcome of the election. And I'll show you why. I believe in bringing receipts. I've got it here. Here it is. There's some good news in this, what I'm about to show you. James Talerico won by about 200,000. By the time they're done counting everything, it'll be about 200,000 votes. Not everybody that was delayed in Dallas County was a Crockett voter. That she did well there, but they weren't. So did Talerico. Not nearly as well as Jasmine Crockett did. So of everybody that was delayed, not all Jasmine Crockett voters. Damn sure not enough voters to overcome a 200,000 vote lead. Right? That's just, it is what it is, folks. There can be only one. Is it frustrating? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But this is on us. This is why I'm telling you. This is on us. Are Republicans going to cheat? Abso-fucking-lutely they are. They do every time. Are they going to put too few polling places out for Democrats to vote in? Yup. Yep, they are. Are they going to have people challenge signatures? Yep. Are they going to try to make you jump through extra hoops? Yep. Put your jumping shoes on. Make sure your signatures are as close as possible. That's our job. Our job isn't to sit here and say, fuck it, they're cheating. We can't win. Too much of that has happened in the state of Texas in the past. Too much of that has happened here in the state of Texas in the past. No, we do whatever. If we got to crawl over broken fucking glass, we do what we have to do. And it shows, because let me tell you something. Jasmine Crockett is going to come in as the loser in this race with about 200,000 more votes than the winning Republican in their primary, and their primary was hotly contested. We blew it out yesterday. We blew it out. Right now, this morning, Republicans are terrified. Democrats don't show up in primaries. Historically, we don't show up. Oh, good Lord, we showed up. I mean, we showed up. And not just in Texas. Not just in Texas. I want to introduce you to somebody. This is, one second. Here we go. There he is. Got it. This is Alex Halliday. This is Alex Halliday. Alex Halliday just won a blood red district in Arkansas, the 70th. This is a state district, not federal. This is a state district. That's a flip, folks. That is a flip. That's not blue got bluer. That's not great turnout. That was a red district that is now blue. That was a special election that was held in congruence with their primaries. Yeah. We turned out. We turned out. And I promise you, Republicans are in full freak out mode. I want you to look at these numbers. Roy Cooper, who is now he is the Senate candidate from North Carolina. We're gonna take this seat. Look at these numbers. Michael Whatley got 404,000 Republicans to show up and vote for him. Roy Cooper doubled that. The numbers that are coming in, he has doubled that. I am telling you. Last night, yes, there was some frustration. Yes, there's some heartbreak. Yes, some of the people that we wanted to win didn't win. But some of the people that we did want to won. It's heartbreaking, man. Primaries suck. But you need to keep that chin up, man. Last night was a great night. We put some great candidates forward. The momentum is ours. We're the only people that can just shoot ourselves in the foot. You know, don't stress about that one. If you don't know, Colin Allred is in the 32nd district. Julie Johnson came in second. They're going to a runoff. This is why I don't put my thumb on the scale. Primaries make great candidates. Colin Allred came in well ahead in that district. They're going to go to a runoff now. There's a third candidate there that was a bit of a spoiler that's going to be out. Neither one of those candidates is done. We're going through May. We've got two great candidates that are advancing into runoffs. for lieutenant governor. We've got two great candidates that are advancing to a runoff for attorney general. This ain't over. This ain't over. One second. This is the attorney general's race yesterday. Tony Box is out. Joe Jaworski and Nathan Johnson are going to advance to a runoff. That will change that race significantly. Nathan Johnson did extremely well. He did extremely well, but he has nothing guaranteed. He better get out there and keep fighting. Chip Roy lost his bid to be attorney general. Everybody knows Chip Roy out there from Kerr County, Texas. He got this guy is a gift. Mays Middleton. He is a gift to run against. He sucks Trump's taint so tightly that he's literally dubbed himself MAGA Mays Middleton. So yeah, that's a good thing. I would much rather run against Mays Middleton than I would Chip Roy. And he's not the only Republican. There's been a lot of people were talking about this one. A lot of schadenfreude on this one. Dan Crenshaw is out. Come January, he is out of government. Now, I want to be cautionary here. I do. Just some inside baseball about Texas politics. Dan Crenshaw is not out. They didn't go with Toth because Toth was a better candidate, that he was a better leader. Yes, 100%. They went with Toth because he is more of an asshole than Dan Crenshaw. That's why Dan Crenshaw lost. He was not enough of an asshole for MAGA. As much of an asshole as Dan Crenshaw was. And he's not the only one. He is not the only one. A lot of news, a lot of big news with Trump trying to stick his thumb on the scales in this race. Y'all remember Rep. Tony? This is horrible. I mean, just horrible. And I don't understand the corporate media. They talk about this and they say, oh, well, he had an affair with a staffer. No. There are allegations of blackmail, porn, all kinds of nastiness. And this staffer didn't just commit suicide. She set herself on fire. This is horrific. And for some reason, the corporate media just doesn't really want to talk about it. So much so that Trump came out and endorsed this guy. Well, this is how that turned out. Brandon Herrera beat him. Although they're going to go to a runoff. Brandon Herrera and Tony Gonzalez are going to a runoff. But in this situation, Keith Barton Keith Barton's votes in this race are the people that say, I don't want to vote for Tony Gonzalez. They're either going to stay home or they're going to Brandon Herrera. They're not going to change their mind. Look over here in the Democratic race. You're talking about 30% more people showed up for the winner in the Democratic race. Katie Padilla Stout, yeah, she outright won her race. This is a flip, people. This is a flip. This is going to be one of them we go at hard in the general election in November. 100%, because Brandon Herrera is a shit candidate. He is one of those people. He's just like Toth. He's actually even shittier than Tony Gonzalez. He is a gun. This is a guy that takes his AR-15 into the bathroom so he can rub one out, man. I mean, we're going to kick the shit out of Brandon Herrera. We are, because people are sick of it. People are sick of it. Bobby Polito. That's right. Scott's good to see you. So many great races last night. Kate Marylight for the Cutson Jar. Thank you. Stephen Lee, same Florida veteran, new number. Yep. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. That is a fact. That is going on. The State Department has told people you're on your own, and now they're scrambling to we'll get into it in just a second. Omniscience finished. Do Democrats get more votes when they hand count? Yeah, no shit, right? No shit. Jeremy Breeden, it was good to see Richard Ojeda won his primary in North Carolina. He will be a fighter for his constituents. Love Richard Ojeda. This is going to be such a good election season, people. It is. But I will tell you, the bots went insane last night. They did. Now, there were some legitimate, Jasmine Crockett supporters that were rightfully so very upset last night. I mean, you can't not be, but there were a lot of bots that were just went active. They're desperately trying to stick their nails into any crack to form to try to separate us and keep us from turning out, to kick us in the cooter and stop our momentum. And we're not going to let that happen. We are the ride or die Democrats right here, baby. Ride or die. Ride or die. Vince, glad to see you, my friend. Thank you for always being here. Chandra Patton, Morning Texas Ball and Film. There's been so much shite from the Republicans that I've had to pull up my recording of Millie Jackson's You Symphony and play it really loud. Really loud. Yep. Leander, Williamson County just elected a Democratic mayor. You know what? I'm going to stop with the comments for just a second. I'll come back to him. This also happened. I got so many emails about this guy. People were really stressed. People know Republicans are just going to cheat, man. They're just going to cheat. This guy goes by J. Gordon Mitchell now. His name was James McKay was his name. He changed his name legally. He's a nutter. He's a MAGA nutter. He really thought that he was going to change his name and run and win a seat as a Democrat. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. We were on to that. He's out. He's gone. He is history. Mila Flores and Casey Shepard are going to go to a runoff, but Gordon Mitchell is gone. He is gone. Now, I will tell you something right here. Look at this, 11,800 votes. Those are Republicans that turned out in that primary. Those are Republicans that turned out in that primary trying to screw us over a seat using dirty tricks. Yeah. Yeah. That really happened. But we do the work. You get involved with your local Democratic Party. We know who the candidates are. We know who they are. We saw this guy coming. We knew what he was. No. But the reason I mention it, the reason I bring it up is because there's a lot of fear from people that, we can't win because they're going to cheat so good. No, we're just going to be that damn disciplined. We are going to be that damn disciplined. I know, right? I know. She should. Ted Cruz is up for re-election in 2028. I'd love to see Jasmine Crockett in that race. But yeah, there's more going on in the world than just elections. You should feel good, folks. You really should. You should feel good. We are fielding fantastic, some fantastic candidates. We really are. We really are. This is a good day. This is a good day. The momentum is there. The numbers are incredible. I can't stress to you, not only did we just beat the dog shit, just beat the brakes off of Republicans in the number of people that turned out, you have to take into account the history. It's old, bitter ass bigot Republicans that vote in special elections, that vote in off year elections, that vote in primaries. Democrats don't show up until the big show. That's it. That's historically it. It's one of the things that we have fought the most here on the ground in this, especially in Texas. Especially in Texas. It's huge. We plowed them under. The number of people, that tells you what is going on in this country. That tells you how excited you should be about these upcoming elections. E.T., what's next? Separate water fountains for them? I got to tell you, man. I got to tell you. That whole thing about, and again, yes, they're going to cheat. I'm never going to kick that narrative in the cooter. I'm not. They're going to, because they are. They're going to cheat. But we cannot allow that narrative to become, they're going to cheat so we can't get what we want. We can't win. That narrative can never morph to that. And there are a lot of people, a lot of doomers, blue sky, looking at you out there that sell that narrative. That narrative is not true. We can overcome their cheating. There are way more of us than there are them. And we can reform these systems. We can. Fenrir, the last state I voted mailed me a ballot several weeks early. I got to spend several hours looking over it, researching, and drinking coffee. Yeah, some states actually care about democracy. Proud Texas liberal in Denton County, the check-in process generates a ballot that voters fill in by the voter. Then they feed them into a scanner. Yep. Robert Walsh, thank you. Rich Lawton, Jasmine and James are class acts that give a view of how politics are hopefully turning to. If you can get the Republicans out of it. Skeet Sayre, as a Canadian, I'm abhorred by the voting process in the USA. Donna, super secure. Skeet Sayre, I'm telling you, it's really simple. Republicans know that if people vote, they lose. So they've got to try anything they can to divert from important issues, to making it difficult to vote, anything they can to just narrow it down to their hyper-disciplined old blue hair bigots. Fenrir, Republicans cheat as much more to discourage people from voting than they are to change the results. You have to be too big to rig. Amen. Thanks for supporting the show, Harold. I really appreciate you. Harold Putinson, thank you. I appreciate you, part of our European audience. So glad you are here, sir. Donna, thank you for becoming a member. Scott, didn't Republican Senate primary go to runoff? Yes. You know what? Let's talk about that before we go to Iran. Let's talk about that. That's why I love to read these comments, because you people are always so ahead of the game. Yes. Everybody on the Republican side, I am telling you, and I was taking their word for it, just knew Ken Paxton was it. He was ending John Cornyn. That was it. Ken Paxton had this. They were so arrogant. John Cornyn spent more on his primary than any person has ever spent in our history. Ken Paxton spent $5 million. Yeah. They were so confident. John Cornyn won. They're going to go to a runoff, but John Cornyn won. And again, same situation. There was a spoiler in that race that didn't take votes from Ken Paxton. The Ken Paxton voter is the we're not shitty enough MAGA. We need to be shittier people. That was the Ken Paxton voter. Oh no, the Hunt voter, the spoiler, he drew votes. The people that showed up for Hunt were the people that were like, okay, we're MAGA, but fuck Ken Paxton. Those voters either stay home or end up with Cornyn. Yeah, it is looking like Paxton is done. We'll find out in May. I have no crystal ball, but just the way these votes shook out and who's left on the playing field, votes left to win, it looks like Ken Paxton is done. And he's going to be much more public over the next 2 months. See, one of the things that the media here in Texas do is they shield Ken Paxton. They don't show Ken Paxton talking often. That googly eye and the way he speaks, there's something with his mouth. He looks like a Simpsons character when he talks. He looks like a Simpsons character when he talks. He can't hide that for the next 2 months. He is one goofy, weird-looking motherfucker, and that's not a benefit in politics at all. So, yeah, it's getting really interesting on the Republican side. Looks like it's going to be Talerico versus Cornyn. I would have much rather had it been Talerico versus Paxton, but that ain't the way it's shaking out. Omniscience Face. Good morning, Paul. I hate to see Jasmine losing this race, but I think she came out smelling like a bed of roses. There may be bigger things for her in the future. Yeah. The way she handled it today. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fritz, I'm so excited about James Talerico. His economic populism wrapped in a message of unity is so smart. Hope he finally turns Texas blue. I'm telling you, Democrats are ready for, come on, man. Come on. You went low. Let's get in that ditch and get it done. You know what I mean? That message that Talerico was selling, it works. It does. It works. There are so many people out there that are tired of the combat. Now, it's pissing some Democrats off because Democrats are like, fuck that noise, man. Let's go. Break the fact bat out and get to work, man. Let's do this. It's pissing those Democrats off. He is. But come the general election, it's going to sell. It is. It's going to sell. Yeah, he did. E.T. Chip Roy got out MAGA'd last night. He did. That's a big takeaway from last night. The Republican Party, the MAGA Republicans, are in all of the polls losing. They're losing support. People are sick of it. That shtick is over. The elections last night, MAGA distilled itself. It became ultra MAGA last night. MAGA assholes like Chip Roy weren't MAGA enough. So, yeah, this is, as an American, it horrifies me. But as a Democrat, that's what I want to run against. That's what I want to run against. Catch my whiff. Just wait. It would shock me if Jasmine takes Cancun cruise seat in 4 years. Skeet Sarah, we could finally see the reverse of 1980 when they told lies to win 47 states. Yeah, it's looking good, people. Right? Welcome, Brian. Wow, gifted 20 members. There's memberships out there to be had, folks. If you're not a member, hit that join button and snatch up one of those free memberships. C.D. Jones, Brandon Herrera is a Confederate sympathizer. He is. Whoo, fucking knucking futs, man. Brandon Herrera is knucking futs. He is. Jizz Wizard, so happy Richard. Yeah, I know. Isn't that something? We need to get Richard on the show, man. We need to get Richard. I love Richard. Skeet's there. They roasted Biden for Afghanistan, but it is mum for Iran. This is another reason they're getting the shit kicked out of their own people. Don't like this. And oh man, we got a lot to talk about. Gifted Glenn, thank you, buddy. Thank you, brother, for gifting those memberships. Moonlit Woman, there are memberships to be had out there, folks. If you're not a member and you want the full emojis and everything, there are gift memberships out there to be had. Moonlit Woman, thank you. Love to see them. Love to see the new supporters. It means we're growing. We're growing. Donna Bell. All right. Thank you, Donna Bell. I love it. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That is what I'm talking about. Didn't even make me screw up the pronunciation. She just said, I got you, Paul. I got you. It's Donna Bell. There you go. One of our ride or dies said it beat a few weeks back. Primaries, you vote your heart out, but midterms, you vote for the party. Yep. Brian Huchin, whichever way it was won on the ticket, you could not go wrong with James or Jasmine. So pull up the sleeves and vote blue, Paul. I do have more GOP is using this war as an excuse for their shittery. Coming up, vote blue. Man, there's already, they're not going to let us vote over Iran and this and no. They're so terrified of Iran blowing up because it is so unpopular. It's like 85% of Americans are pissed that we're doing this. They're trying to like tamp it down as much as possible. No, this is not going to blow up into, we need emergency war powers. They're not going to let us vote. The doomers are out there rocking it. The doomers are already out there selling it. Iran is so we don't get to vote. Trump is going to be here forever. No, Trump is old. He's going to die. We're going to vote in the midterms. We're going to vote in 2028. Don't listen to the doomers. Fenrir, like a crucible, the Democrats are getting purified and refined in the fire of the times. They will be stronger, smarter, more resilient, but it hurts. You nailed it, man. You nailed it. Primaries are rough. Emotionally, everything, they're rough, but man, I tell you what, it sharpens the edge of candidates. It makes for good candidates. It's a good system. Colleen Sarah, in honor of my senior kitty Sam, who passed on Monday. He was always on my lap or desk when I watched you. Man, that is heartbreaking. I'm so sorry to hear about Sam. I am. Crafty Ass Gardner, thanks for gifting memberships. Ann Hopland, glad to see you here. I vote at my job during work hours. That's Norway for you. There's so much I am jealous about with you folks. I mean, she votes at work, people. She votes at work. Barbara, is Trump trying to involve America in the Yemen plan in Israel? Thoughts? We're going to talk about exactly what happened and why we got here. I promise. There's a couple more comments and we're going to dig in. Ollie, enlighten everyone about Saudis, Qatar not arresting Mossad agents for suspected bombings in those countries, as per Tucker Carlson. I don't do Tucker Carlson stories because they're usually complete bullshit. Timmery, for doubters, tell us about it, Talerico. Gary Moontunes, I know I got on this broadcast late, but there's got to be a path forward for Jasmine. She's too valuable. Does anybody know what her plans are? Right now, it is. She's going to be a terrific congresswoman through January, and then she is going to move into private practice and probably do some lobbying. She's not going anywhere. We got Coney Red new members, glad to see you. Kate Marylight, take a bet on Ted Cruz not running if his opponent is Jasmine Crockett. He's got nothing else. No, they're going to drag him out of that seat kicking and screaming. Leslie Monroe, hi, Paul. Any turnout percentages for the races? I don't have the percentages. I don't. I know that we turned out between 20 and 30% more than Republicans. I know that. The exact number I don't have. You got to help me with the pronunciation on this one, brother. I'm going to pronounce it Simone. Simone is what I'm going with. Hard choosing between two options, Talerico versus Crockett. Amen. A lot of new memberships. Good to see you. Good to see you. Couple more comments and we're done. Fenrir, we're done with the comments for a little bit. What is the biggest factor in Talerico beating Crockett? I know he has been more outspoken against Israel than Crockett and wanted to cut funding. I will tell you exactly what it is, and this is going to smart a little bit for Crockett supporters. Work. It was work. The Colbert thing really helped. But if you watch these two campaigns, James Talerico got on that bus and he talked to every Texan he could get his hands on. Every damn day, multiple events per day. He was out there talking to people. He was constantly. The first time I saw Jasmine Crockett was via Zoom. I mean, he outworked her. He did. That's why he was able to run up the score in all of those other counties. He had tremendous support from the Hispanic community. He really did. I'm telling you, Hispanics are the future of voting in Texas. There were several things that led to this. Colbert being one of them. Trump's FCC trying to fuck Talerico to keep him out of the job, boosted him. I mean, there are a lot of different reasons that this shook out the way it shook out. This is disgusting, and this is really happening. Mr. Wallace, thank you for bringing this up. I am truly grateful. This clown Pete says any news reporting the deaths of troops is only doing it to embarrass Trump. When have we not reported the deaths of troops? This callousness, oh yeah, people going to die here. This disregard of this disrespect of our troops is it's who they are at their core. These people don't give a shit about anybody. And it is blowing up in their faces. That's really happening. Pete Hegseth is out there telling people you can't talk about people dying. It's the same shit. Remember when George W. Bush and Dick Cheney tried to do this with you can't show a coffin in from Iraq? It's just disrespect for the people that are out there dying that you ordered into this conflict. Mike Daly, we voted during the Civil War. We'll vote now. Yep. All right, let's move on to what's going on in Iran. This is happening, folks. This is happening. Shit has gotten real. The last time they bombed Iran, it was in and out. Iran sent up a couple face-saving missiles. Remember we talked about that? It was face-saving. It wasn't sustained. There was no apology. Iran wasn't really punching back. They were it was to save face. The one missile they lobbed over at Abu Dhabi, our air base near Abu Dhabi, didn't even hit the base. That's not happening this time. That is not happening this time. And there was no plan. There was no plan to deal with it for if the Iranians just said, okay, come on, let's do this. There was no plan in place at all. It is so painfully and sickeningly obvious. Embassy personnel weren't evacuated. Just the arrogance and the stupidity of this. They really thought they're in trouble. They're in trouble. They thought that they were going to go into Iran, bomb a few things, puff up their chest. Ooh, we're tough. We're war fighters. We're war fighters. You know what I mean? They thought they were going to do that shit. And that was going to be the end of it. Well, Iran has other plans. Iran has other plans. And that happens. Hey, y'all know who Randall Tex Cobb is? This is exactly what it reminds me of. Y'all know who Randall Tex Cobb is? Let me get you. Let me get you an image of her. Let me get you so you know who I'm talking about. This is a perfect analogy. Y'all remember that movie Raising Arizona? The bad guy in Raising Arizona? That was portrayed by a guy by the name Randall Tex Cobb. He's an MMA fighter / boxer that turned actor. He also played Sailor in the Gene Hackman movie. Somebody remind me the name of that movie. I'm having a brain lock. But he was a boxer. He was. He actually fought Larry Holmes. I mean, he was not. I mean, he was that level. Okay. And he talks about that fight on the Johnny Carson show. And they joke about it. And he has a really great sense of humor. Larry Holmes beat the brakes off of him. And he talks about how his plan was, he thought he and Larry Holmes, he'd seen Larry Holmes in some previous fights stand his ground. He thought they were going to go toe to toe. And Randall Tex Cobb is one tough motherfucker. In that kind of fight, he had a chance. But Larry Holmes is a smart fighter. He's a pugilist, man. So, to quote Randall Tex Cobb, they played a very advanced game of tag, and for 45 minutes, man, I was it. He really said that on Johnny Carson. They just joked about the fact that Larry Holmes beat the brakes off of him, and they taught, there you go, Uncommon Valor. He played Sailor in Uncommon Valor. Right? I really like Randall Tex Cobb, if you can't tell. But they just joked about it, and he had a great sense of humor about it. But the whole point was he had a plan, and it didn't work. The Trump administration thought it was going to be just like last time. They were going to show their ass. They were going to go in. They were going to punch Iran in the face, and that was going to be it. But like Larry Holmes and the Randall Tex Cobb analogy, Iran has a different plan, a very different plan. And this is not working out like they had thought. And they had thought not one iota. When I say they, I mean the Trump regime. I'm talking about keg breath. I'm talking about shitty pants, Mango Mussolini. They had given this no thought whatsoever. None whatsoever. And now they're scrambling. They are scrambling. They're in full freak out mode because, yes, this is happening. Our soldiers are dying. And they're going to continue to die. But yeah, if you want testimony to the fact that they had no plan, well, listen to the dumbass in chief.
Commercial air travel right now is severely restricted in the Middle East, and thousands of Americans are stranded. Why wasn't there an evacuation plan, and will you send planes to get people out?
Well, because it happened all very quickly. We thought, and I thought maybe more so than most, I could ask Marco, but I thought we were going to have a situation where we were going to be attacked. They were getting ready to attack Israel. They were getting ready to attack others. You're seeing that right now. And a lot of those missiles that are hitting in, those are stationary. Those were aimed there for a long period of time at these other countries. So I think I was right about that. We attacked first. And if we didn't, it could have been, look, we're really decimating them. They're being decimated.
Commercial air travel.
He has no clue. He has no clue. Israel decided they wanted to do this. Netanyahu was in trouble. There was no nuclear program. This was fucking illegal. It was fucking illegal. It was preemptive war by Israel. He's in trouble. Netanyahu's in trouble. They thought this was going to be a rah-rah, same bullshit about they go in, they blow shit up in Iran, and that was going to be it. Well, that ain't what's happening. Iran is very much intent on playing, as Randall Tex Cobb said, a very advanced game of tag. And they are hitting our bases, and our corporate media is showing you none of the destruction. They have hit damn near every base in the region. We now have militants that are attacking us in Iraq. Good luck finding a story about that in American media. You can find it in foreign media. You can go to the British. You can go to the Turkish. You can go to the French. You can find it there. American media not telling you that right now, today, Shia's militants in Iraq are attacking our soldiers right now. Right now. And they will show you none of the destruction in our bases, or the fact that Israel's air defense systems are exhausted. Last night, go try to find this. If you go to the mill bloggers and the people that are gathering the actual cell phone footage, you can see what happened last night in Israel. When I talk about that very advanced game of tag, Iran had a plan. They sent slow, weak missiles by the thousands into Israel. Why? To exhaust their Iron Dome. Now they're sending their ballistic missiles, and they are blowing the shit out of Israeli neighborhoods. A large number of Israelis spent last night in bomb shelters. And this morning, which has been kind of the way the news media has done it, they'll show you those images where you see the streaks in the sky, but you don't really see the damage. And the next day, the fires are out, so you don't really see. That's not happening today. Today, those missiles are landing in Israel in broad daylight. And it's not just Qatar is a mess. The UAE is a mess. This is not clean. This is not, oh, we go in and get out. And you know they know they're in trouble. You know they know they're in trouble. I'm going to play you a couple clips from Hegseth. Just be patient with me. Be patient with me. I don't like listening to this guy's voice either.
Thus far, Operation Epic Fury has delivered twice the air power of shock and awe of Iraq in 2003, minus Paul Bremer and the nation building. The campaign has 7 times the intensity of Israel's previous operations.
I'm going to pause that for a second because he's telling you, oh, we're just bombing the shit out of things, but we don't have a plan. Because that whole Paul Bremer and nation building, that was what you call a fucking plan.
Against Iran during the 12-day war, 7 times. And as President Trump said, more and larger waves are coming. We are just getting started. We are accelerating, not decelerating. Iran's capabilities are evaporating by the hour, while American strength grows fiercer, smarter, and utterly dominant. More bombers and more fighters are arriving just today.
Yeah. Again, did not have a plan. They're moving assets into place today because they did not think that they were going to need them. No plan whatsoever. I want to add, they have now reached out to not the Democrats, the Republicans in Congress. This has happened. And they've put them on notice that they're going to need a spending bill for this fucking bullshit. Because they're blazing through missiles. They're blazing through munitions. And they've got to have a spending bill to replenish those. Those things don't just pop up for free. And Republicans are shitting their pants right now because that means they're going to have a war powers vote because you don't get the fucking spending bill unless you get the authorization. They're in full freak out mode today with no plan. And look, folks, I don't like hearing this shit either. I don't like listening to them talk, but it's important that you hear what they say so that you know exactly how underwater they are. I mean, yeah, there's bravado and bullshit about war fighters and all that other bullshit, but listen to what he's saying.
I stand before you today with one unmistakable message about Operation Epic Fury. America is winning decisively, devastatingly, and without mercy. Under the direct command of President Trump, the War Department unleashed this operation early Saturday morning, just 4 days ago, which means we need to remember two things. First, we are only 4 days into this. Metrics are shifting, dust is settling, and more forces are arriving. It's very early.
If you've got to tell everybody you're winning, you're probably not. If people can't see that you're winning, you're probably not. And again, more talk about metrics are shifting. It's only been 4 days. No plan whatsoever. None. And if you want testimony to the fact that there was no plan, this same meeting, this happened. This is the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff asking the media to try to contact, put information out so that people in the region know to contact the State Department so that we can figure out how many people we have on the ground and we can try to figure out a way to get them the fuck out of there. You know what that tells you? They had no plan to get the people the fuck out of there. This is done ahead of time. They had no plan. This is chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, Dan Kane. And then I'm going to also play, Marco Rubio making the same plea.
On the question in the back corner about helping Americans get out. First, it's a great opportunity to encourage everybody in the region to go to the State Department and register. Secretary Rubio's been trying to get that word out, and I'd ask you to help us with that to have folks register. We've also opened up space available seats as C-17s and other airplanes come in to try to help folks get out, but that's really a state.
No dedicated flights, no evacuation notices, no pre-advance to embassy personnel. Hey, maybe you should get your people out of here. No notices coming out of the embassies. They're trying to figure out now how to use the media to tell people please contact the State Department because we're going to try to find you some seats somewhere, maybe. All over the region, folks. All over the region. I'm talking from Lebanon. I mean, all the way to freaking Abu Dhabi, man. Abu Dhabi, man. They're just people. I mean, all the way to Oman. This was such a clusterfuck from the get-go. And here is little Marco making the same plea.
We have identified and continue to identify charter flights, military flight options, and expanded commercial flight options, meaning working with the airlines to send bigger airplanes with more seats. And
that's a lie. Commercial, that last part is a lie. They may be thinking that they're going to do that. There are no commercial flights going into this fucking war zone.
a combination of those three things. The impediment we're facing now, in many cases, we've had a couple instances in which we have planes in the air and on the way, and unfortunately the airspace gets closed and they have to turn back around. So we're working through those challenges. Here's the message I want to deliver Americans who are in the Middle East and in need of assistance. It is very important, and I ask this of the networks as well. It is important for you to please put both the website and the phone numbers on your screens, because we need people. We need to know where you are. We need to know. We need to have contact information for Americans that need assistance.
Their plan is CNN. Wow. I mean, wow. I mean, wow. This is, I'm going to play a few more clips for you here in just a second. I want to read some of these comments again, if you don't mind. Lillywig says, during primaries, I try to go with the most electable, but when they're both good, it's hard. Dim, do, or die. I know, man. That was so heartbreaking. Two freaking amazing candidates, man. DK Walk, if you aren't excited about the election in November, then you aren't paying attention. I would love to see her run against Cruz. Ride or die, baby. Ride or die. Amen. Amen. I would too. Hollister, I've seen people saying Talerico is going to do a Fetterman. She said, that's the bots. That's the bots. There's nothing anywhere in that man's messaging anywhere that even closely resembles Fetterman. That's the bots massaging the doomers. Rock and Ron, Rubio's pretzel logic on Iran is pathetic, embarrassing, defensive, offensive, and defensive offense. Yeah. It is pathetic. Pablo Owen, glad to see y'all grabbing up those new memberships. Glad to see you. Glad to see you do it. Thank you for the coffee, honey. Glad to see you doing it. Ladies Fantasy, welcome. So many new members. Nancy, welcome. So many new members. Foreign interloper. No help from the U.S. government for citizens in the Middle East. No, they literally have a response on the State Department hotline and the automated message that tells you you're on your fucking own. Yeah. No shit. Scott, 7907, when Trump said that's the way it is, the Marine in me lit on fire. I know, man, just slapping people in the damn face that put their lives on the line for our country. Just slapping them in the face. Nana Anagram, thank you, sir, for telling us the truth in a way I can understand. Congresswoman Crockett will do amazing things. She's intelligent, personable, says exactly what many of us are thinking, and I'm excited to watch her future. She has intuitive political instincts that are incredible. She knows what the people are thinking and feeling. She does. Skeet said, they are all idiots, intoxicated by the fumes of their own conceit. They are. They really believe. You can see it all over them. They thought this was Just like last time, we'll bomb them and that'll be it. And then we'll look like heroes and we'll say, ooh, we were tough, and we'll lie about everything that we did. You know, just like last time when they lied about, oh, we destroyed their nuclear capabilities, and we'll just make it up and it'll be great, man. Everybody will forget about those Epstein files. Cecile Kazemi. And so 4 phone calls from MBS and threats from BB pushed the orange buffoon to play the war games. Effing idiotic. Stick with me to the end. I am going to explain to you exactly why this happened, why it's happening, where it's going. This has much to do about a Sunni coalition just bending that idiot Netanyahu over, bending Trump over. Just wait for it. Rena, thank you for being here. MAGA is now saying Iran isn't a war. It is a special military operation, so Congress wasn't needed to start it and can do nothing to stop it. This is legally true. Under the way our laws are written, the president can do this. But it's not. They must get authorization. They must go back to Congress. They can't just get into a sustained military conflict without congressional authorization. The Constitution is clear on this. They can't sit there and say for the next 3 months that this is just a special military operation. No, it does not work that way. They can, the Constitution and our laws give the president the ability to respond to emergency situations without building political consensus, without going through all of those machinations. It's meant for quick response. It has limitations, and those limitations are here. Meanwhile, he has started attacks in Ecuador. Yeah, they're desperate to try to keep us from paying attention to their failures. Weird Idaho liberal. Weirdo Idaho liberal. I'm glad to see you always here, brother. Thank you for all of you people that are here every show. Don't think I don't notice. You foundational members of the show that keep this thing going, I notice. Everybody sees it. Everybody does. And I'm incredibly grateful. Our stockpiles are running low too, I heard. He's going to Congress for more money. And meanwhile, they're trying to blackmail the Democrats, and Chuck Schumer, much to his credit, said, fuck you on the DHS funding. They said, oh, we're at war now. You have to pass the DHS funding. We need that Homeland Security money. And Chuck Schumer said, fuck you, meet our demands, and you'll get your money. So proud of him for standing his ground. Dave Barone, this will not stop. Operation Epstein Fury. This will continue until they have a new distraction. They no longer control when it stops. That's the thing. They never considered what would happen if Iran said, no, it's on, bitches. Tiger Butterfly. I've been researching the Vahidi since you talked about him on Sunday. That man is a psychopath and he is a genius. I know. Very little scares me in this world. That motherfucker gives me nightmares. That combo makes up some of the most dangerous people on the planet. Zero clue. I am telling you, that's the guy that's responsible for this fucking rope-a-dope that they did to Israel. I promise you. They sent shitty ass low yield munitions into Israel, exhausted the Iron Dome, exhausted our air defenses. Now they're cutting the big boys loose. This is going to be ugly. We may have air superiority. We don't have missile superiority. Not in the region. No. Just the opposite. They've damaged several of our radar installations, and those are not quick and easily fixed. Skeet Sayre, an alcoholic that has not been to AA, leads the U.S. military. This is 1940s Germany, and it is just the beginning. Foreign interloper. My family served from the Civil War to Vietnam. Trump. With so many C-17s, this is evil. C-17s are big and slow. I'm telling you, do with that what you will. Brian Hushing. Yeah, right. Why Trump was crying like a baby, asking Iran for a ceasefire. Please, please, please stop. Iran responded back, fuck you, Trump. As Mike Tyson said once, everyone has a plan going in, then they get hit in the face. Yep. Skeet said Marco is an example of why not to use cocaine to escape. Lori Dex, I heard the phone number for the State Department tells people there is no help available at this time. Yeah, you're on your fucking own. That is when you call into the State Department, that is the message that's playing. You're on your fucking own. Now they're trying to set up 4 days after they started a registration, give us your information. We'll see what we can do. Waltine Woods. Thank you for supporting the show, man. Glad to see you new supporters here. Peter Campbell, private jet sent to evacuate MAGA influencers, reports the Daily Mail. Yep. No doubt. You're going to get story after story after. This is blown up in their face. This is like they walked into a damn porta potty that was full, brimming full, dropped an M80 in the bottom of it and sat down. That's exactly what they did to themselves here. Mr. Knutson, some of you may die, but that's a risk I'm willing to take. And I know. Trump is sitting there quoting fuckwad. It's crazy talk. Use them damn plans Christy Nome brought. Or how about the cargo carriers? They use them damn. I think you meant damn planes. Yeah, use them damn planes Christy Nome bought. Or how about the cargo carriers they used to fly to Seacott? Yep. McBastage, barely even a day before Donnie dwindles bone spurs flare up. Elizabeth, thanks. Good to see you. Glad to see all the new members here. Brian Pizza, Canada in the house. Congrats on the elections. It was a much needed breath of fresh air. It really was. Tiger Butterfly, Navy vet. I'm so worried for my fellow sailors. I know. Bahrain is getting the shit kicked out of it. Mad Magazine is not fun in real life. No, it is not. It is not. One more. Rake Steppers. Yep. Chandra Patton. Yep. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about what our allies are saying. This just going to tell you. Talk about respect for your military. This is Keir Starmer.
But I'm very clear in the advice that I received. But I'm very clear in the advice that I received, and I will not commit our military personnel to unlawful action. That is not what they would expect and deserve. They are entitled to better than that. Yes, but I'm very clear in the advice that I received, and I will.
That's Keir Starmer reiterating, we'll defend our base, but that's it. You've got to respect that. You've got to respect that. I mean, they didn't, here, listen to Mark Carney. He sums it up perfectly. Again, going back to no plan, no preparation.
The United States and Israel have acted without engaging the United Nations or consulting allies, including Canada. So where to from here? With a rapidly spreading conflict and growing threats to civilian life. Canada reaffirms that international law binds all belligerents. We condemn the strikes carried out by Iran on civilians and civilian infrastructure across the Middle East. And we implore all parties, including the United States and Israel, to respect the rules of international engagement. Canada calls for a rapid de-escalation of hostilities and is prepared to assist in achieving this goal.
And that's what it looks like when you elect grown-ups. And yeah, they didn't talk to anybody. They really thought they were just going to do this shit and say, come on, England. And Keir Starmer said, fuck you. No plan. No preparation. No respect for our allies. No respect for anybody. Stick with me to the end because we're about to wrap up with what's coming out of the politics of this. And I want to talk about the why and where this goes. If you know anything about politics, you know that Mark Warner is not your soundbite guy. He's just not. Mark Warner is, what's a good word? Pragmatic. He is extremely more political than I'm trying to be right now with what I'm trying to say about Mark Warner. He is very, very political about the way he says things. The way he ends this, makes people that are inside politics go, whoa. And to your layperson, it's going to piss off like the populace because like, well, that's not aggressive enough. If you know who Mark Warner is and you know the way he talks and you know the way he conducts himself, he's the guy, he's the sausage maker. He's the cross the aisle guy. That's who he is. He is not AOC. He is the sausage maker. Listen to what he says here.
Let's also be clear. I said before, I've said now, there was no imminent threat to the United States of America by the Iranians. There was a threat to Israel.
I will dispute that. I will dispute that. Israel, there was as much of a threat to Israel as Israel was a threat to Iran. To characterize it this way is unfair and false. These are two belligerents. This isn't Israel was the good guy. I disagree with the way he characterizes that part.
We equate a threat to Israel as the equivalent of an imminent threat to the United States, then we are in uncharted territory. We have seen the goals for this operation change now, I believe, 4 or 5 times. Let's also be clear. I said before,
Pardon me. Sorry about that. I was slurping coffee while that was going on. For Mark Warner to go on and say, we're in uncharted territory is a big deal. It is a very big deal. For him to say, that's never been our position. We don't have a treaty with Israel that says, we're your defender. And the fact that you and Iran are in a pissing contest does not mean that the United States and Iran are in a pissing contest. And he is saying that fucking clearly. Now, I need you to take into consideration that this is coming from Mark fucking Warner. If Mark Warner is here, Israel, you're fucked. You've got elections in October, baby. And if you don't do something about Netanyahu, just like if we on the left don't kick Trump in the balls in these midterms, you're going to fucking deserve what happens to you. Because even Mark, pardon my language, fucking Warner is telling you your shit stinks and we're done with it. You folks on the left better in Israel eat your fucking Wheaties. You better be doing what the fuck we're doing here. Or it's your ass. Just as much as if we here on the left allow these doomers and populists and all these people that try to kick Democrats in the balls and fuck over our momentum going to the election. If we don't deal with that and decimate the Republicans in the midterms, we will fucking deserve what comes next. The Trump regime is trying very hard to backpedal on why they said they did this. They are desperately trying to put the shit back in the horse and say, oh no, we didn't say we did this because of Israel, that Israel drug us into this, that Israel said that they were going to attack, and because it's Israel, we had to go along. They're trying really hard to say that as well. Here's Mike Johnson.
They had to evaluate the threats to the U.S., to our troops, to our installations, to our assets in the region and beyond. And they determined, because of the exquisite intelligence that we had, that if Israel fired upon Iran and took action against Iran to take out the missiles, then they would have immediately retaliated against U.S. personnel and assets.
He says it. Israel, Netanyahu, fucking psycho Yahoo, decided he was going to attack, and because they were going to attack, we had to be there because blah 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 blah. He fucking said it. Little Marco flat out said it. Then now this is him trying, and this is why I love the work that Midas does. Midas put a supercut together of little Marco, one trying to say that everybody that ever said that we did this because of Israel is a liar, and he never said that, versus Marco Rubio saying we're doing this because of Israel.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked
okay.
the question.
And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here.
Okay, I'm going to play this one more time. I want you to catch the last part of this first clip. He calls her a liar and then arrogantly says, were you there yesterday to see what she's the fucking reporter that asked the question. She knows exactly what that exchange was and exactly what he said. She's the reporter that asked the question. Listen to how much he just.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked very specifically. Were you there yesterday?
Yes, I asked the question.
And so the president made the very.
Yeah, I was. I'm the one that asked the question, you dumbass. That is really what a clusterfuck is going on there. That is clearly what a complete clusterfuck is going on there. It would be completely laughable if it wasn't for the fact that our soldiers are going to die over this. That civilians in Iran, civilians in Israel, civilians in Qatar, civilians in the United Arab Emirates and Kuwait. All hell is breaking loose in Iraq. Saudis, MBS is bitching, claiming that we abandoned them to do nothing but protect Israel. Global oil markets are exploding. This happened yesterday. Day before yesterday, I filled up the car. And I've told you this before. Where I live geographically, I have some of the cheapest gas prices in the country. Where you live matters in response to, in direct correlation to what your gas prices are going to be. Where you live matters. Mine are some of the cheapest. 2 days ago, I filled up my car at $2.06 a gallon. That's pretty good, right? And that's pretty good. $2.06 a gallon. Yesterday, I had to go to Sam's Club, and don't stop. I can hear the emails coming already. Every time I mention Sam's Club, I get an email from somebody that's tells me Sam's Club is evil. Why do you shop at Sam's Club? Aren't you a bad person? No, it's all I got. I live in Hillbillyville. I don't have a Costco. If there was a Costco within, I would do my shopping there. If there was a Costco within a 45-minute drive, I would do my shopping there. Sam's is what I got, so don't send the email. But I walk into Sam's, gas went from 206 to 243 one day. While I was in Sam's, I did my shopping. I walking out in the parking lot, they've got a big sign there with the gas prices right at the exit. It's $2.56 now. I walked in at $2.43. I walked out, it's $2.56. In just the time I was shopping. And I thought, somebody screwed up the sign. It was $2.43. At the pump, when I drove by the pump, no, the pump's changed. I drove half a block away. We're over $3 a gallon at the grocery store just up the road, and they compete with Sam's on gas prices, by the way. Yeah, this is happening. Gas prices are going through the roof. Yeah. Brent crude is closing in on $80 a gallon. It says $78.45 right now. Brent crude is at $78.50. It was at like $60 just a few days ago. See what West Texas Intermediate is doing. You remember we were following West Texas Intermediate crude because I was warning that if it continues to go down, that we'll see bankruptcies in our oil industry, and long term we will be screwed because we won't have the production capability. We'll end up at the mercy of foreign oil producers. You remember those shows? You remember us talking about it? We were looking at that $50 marker, and it was just flirting with the $50 marker. You remember that? Yeah, this is today. Up 50%. We're at $75 a barrel for West Texas Intermediate. And it's not done. It's not done. You remember the shows where we talked about how shaky the economy was, but one of the spotlights in the economy was low energy costs? Diesel was cheap and all of that's over. They did not think this through. They did not have a plan. And yes, Russia is celebrating. Russia is celebrating. They were done. Russia's economy was done. Russia's a gas station with a military. and their oil wasn't selling for shit. They were literally seeing hyperinflation, and they were going under on their last little, in the cartoon where you see they come up for the last time, and then blub, 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 blub. That's where they were. Not anymore. Not anymore. So how did we get here? What caused this? How did we get here? What caused this, and where's it going? And I know it's easy to say Israel, which it is Israel's fault. It is fucking Netanyahu's fault. 100%. Netanyahu, Trump's an idiot, Netanyahu, but there's more to that. There's more regional politics going on. Let me explain. Brian Peach, Canada in the house. Congrats on the elections. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate you, brother. And congratulations on Mark Carney. How you must feel having a fucking grown-up running your country. Oh, Skeet Sayre, Mad Magazine is not fun. Absolutely. Not fun. Navy vet, and I'm so worried about my fellow sailor. Yep, I know I'm rereading some of these. I know. V-Man, I like Talerico because you can fight Christian nationalism with genuine Christianity from a left-wing perspective. He punches Christian nationalists right in the throat. He is really good at that. Weirdo Idaho liberal. Thank you for being here. Trump calls troops losers and suckers. His speech said the same thing, just in different words. Yep. Texas Trans Mouse. We broke it. We bought it. True. Laura Yates says, Iran said, hold my beer. Kim, thank you for the support, Kim. Thank you for being here. Mike Daly, what happens when criminals rule the U.S. and Israel? You get this. Kira loves Michael. Hey, Texas Paul, I just wanted you to know my name is pronounced Kyra. All right, got it. Thank you. Kyra, got you. Kyra, I will get it right from now on. I hate correcting folks. I blame my mom. Your mom gave you a beautiful name. She did. Kyra is a beautiful name. Tube Kurt, wondering if this might have World Cup implications, either due to protest boycotts, Iran, hello, or due to security concerns. Oh yeah. They didn't think any of this through. We've got the World Cup coming in a few months. Yeah. Nope. Talk about a juicy terrorist target. Skeet Sayre, he is talking the truth. Israel are hated around the world. I'm telling you, if the left in Israel doesn't get this under control, I am truly afraid this may be the end of that nation. Firelighted, the military is being told that this is Armageddon. Yeah, you've got officers that are like hyper Christians talking about, yes, this is the fight we've been looking for. This is bringing on the we have our military leaders saying that shit, and no leadership anywhere to tell them. Maybe not tell the soldiers that. Maybe not tell the soldiers they're in a holy war. Fenrir, drones are much more effective weapons in this fight because they are cheap, fast, and come in the thousands. Air superiority doesn't mean much with drones. It means a lot in the bombing. They're about to go to carpet bombing. When they talk about new bomber assets are moving in, the B-52s are there. This is about to get ugly. This is about to, civilian casualties are about to fucking skyrocket. Just makes me sick thinking about it and saying it. Fairy Dust. I know I'm late to the party. Heard Crockett didn't win. She's my girl. I wanted her to win, but now we need to support James. Ride or die. Amen. Well said. Ride or die, baby. Ride or die. Skeet Sayre. Decency will win. Jeff Schuler, Iran was aware that the Gulf states were just as complicit in this as anybody. This is why they are being hit hard as they are. Trump was paid off by them in real estate and crypto to fight this for them. Yeah, this is metastasized overnight into a regional conflict. And Iran's not the good guy here. They're not. The attack is illegal. It shouldn't have happened. This should have been handled differently. Iran was facing a revolution that, by the way, no, not anymore. Just like if somebody attacked us in the middle of a revolution, we would team up. No one should portray Iran as the good guys here. They were, wholesale slaughtering their own people. But that doesn't mean we have to be idiots. Hanteo Win, thank you for supporting the show. Welcome, Tail Fuzzy. Welcome. Welcome, Shining Silver. Stephen Leeds, thank you, family. Thank you, Texas Paul. I appreciate you, man. A couple more, and we're going to move back on to. I want to talk about why this happened. This is going to be a little bit of a long show. We're going to go about 2.5 hours, so be patient with me. Skeets here, what are we doing? This is idiotic on a gravitational level. Yep, we're about to go to the map. We're about to go to the map, and we're going to talk about why this happened. David Cantu, I donated to Talerico, but voted for Crockett. I don't want to see him turn the other cheek. Yep. You do that by showing up. You do that by echoing your sentiments. Hey, I'd like you to be more aggressive. We do it by working within the party. Boulder Crypto Sissy Dragon. That is a name, brother. That's like one of those German contracted names. Howard Cosell called Randall Tex Cobb a human punching bag. He is tough, man. He is tough. He is tough. E.T., Bobby Jones and Malcolm Nance both are saying that Fifth Fleet headquarters is mostly gone. Interceptor stocks are almost empty. Stuff being sent from South Korea. That is happening, by the way. We are pulling defenses out of South Korea to rush them to protect our assets in the region. Patriot batteries. Yeah, that's really happening. Janan, hey folks, my great nephew is on the Ford. Please pay. Talking about the Ford aircraft carrier, the Gerald R. Ford. Please pray for their safety. Can't say that enough. Gina, New York. I just got it right. I'm sorry, Gina. Yeah. So many people have family serving. This is so wrong. Skeets there. All of this makes the Dems more popular. Republicans use their typical propaganda, but the Trump effect shines brightly until it is utterly ended. You can't lie your way through some things. You can't lie your way through inflation. You can't. You can sit there. Trump can be an idiot and say, oh, everything's cheaper. You see your grocery bill. You see your energy bill. You can't lie through that. You just can't. You can't lie your way through a war. You can lie after an attack if you get away with it and it doesn't continue. You can do that. You can lie about shit after it's over. But as long as it's still going on, no, everybody sees it. You cannot lie your way through it. Mr. Knudsen, will they go after the Shaheed and missile factories? They're trying. They're trying already. But most of those are buried underground. U.S. and others will run out of air defense soon. All right. I want to go to the map real quick. I want to talk about why this is happening. 1 second. Let me start with Saudi Arabia. All right. This is Iran. You see the region. This is Kuwait, Iraq, Jordan, Israel, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. Those are the primary players. Then we've got to look up here, and you've got Syria and Turkey. Why did this happen? A lot of people are, and I've said it myself. It's Netanyahu is in trouble, so he wanted to fight, because if there's no fight, if there's no boogeyman, no war, Israel gets really sick of Netanyahu, and he's in trouble. in criminal trouble. So yes, that is a part. That was his motivation. That was what allowed him to be manipulated into this, lulled into it was going to be okay. Trump, same thing. Epstein, the economy, he's in deep shit. That's what allowed him to be lulled into it is okay. But who lulled them into it? Why is this happening? And no, it's not because Iran's a threat to Israel. No, it's not. We've just been drug into a Muslim civil war. It's been a cold civil war for a while with skirmishes among militant groups. But for the most part, it's been a cold civil war. Sunni versus Shia. Iran is Shia. 1 second. Iran is Shia. Mohammed bin Salman leads a country full of radical Sunnis, very radical Sunnis. That is where Osama bin Laden came from. That is where Osama bin Laden came from. If you remember, the reason Al-Qaeda attacked us is because we desecrated, we were infidels on their holy land. That was the whole justification in the beginning. Going back to, before 9/11 and all of that. Mohammed bin Salman knows his country. He knows that it is very, very, very radical Sunni. Then you've got Ahmed al-Shara in Syria, who literally comes from Al-Qaeda. Literally comes from Al-Qaeda. So you have radical Sunnis in Saudi Arabia. You have a very fringe Sunni running Syria. Turkey, who has extreme designs on becoming the most powerful force in the region with Recep Erdogan. They are also Sunni. Now, Saudi Arabia and Turkey have a tacit, peace between the two of them. They both have the same objective. They both want to be the dominant force in this region. Mohammed bin Salman and Recep Erdogan both have the same dream. So right now they've got the same objective. They may end up being competitors, but they've got the same objective. Egypt, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the leader of Egypt, Sunni. They got together. They did. They got together. And they said, look, we want to knock Iran down. Iran, remember, is Shia. We want to take the power that they have down. They have made too many inroads in our Sunni radicals because like radical, Hezbollah and Hamas, Palestinian Jihad, all of these organizations are very, very radical fringe Sunni, but the Shia government of Iran funded them. The Shia government of Iran funded them. Now, keep in mind, Iraq is Shia, is predominantly Shia. So you have Azerbaijan, you have Iran, you have Baghdad, and you have Bahrain. Bahrain down here is also Shia. Now, is it night and day? Everything's cut? No, because Bahrain cooperates with us. We have a major naval base in Bahrain. But when this goes hot, Shia versus Sunni civil war, Bahrain is Shia. They are not Sunni. And right now, you have a Sunni coalition that has used that idiot Netanyahu by placating him and lulling him into thinking that he's safe to attack their Shia opponent. Mohammed bin Salman went to Netanyahu and said, "Oh man, let's get along. Let's all just get along. It's all good now. You're good, I'm good, we're all good. But them damn Iranians." And Netanyahu said, "Oh yeah, them Iranians, we hate them too." El-Sisi went to Israel and said, "You know what? We'll help you with that Palestine situation. We will. We'll help you with that. You're good. You're okay. You're fine. But them damn Iranians." And Netanyahu said, "Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, them damn Iranians." You see where I'm going? They all made Netanyahu think it was okay. It's okay. Attack Iran. It's okay. Nobody's going to do nothing about that because we don't like them either. And Turkey, which is arguably the big dog in the room, literally, I will tell you again, if it came down to a one-on-one kicking ass contest between Israel and Turkey, I put my money on Turkey, not Israel. Everybody looks at Israel like they're like this massively dominant force. They're not. They're a fucking chihuahua that has a dumbass Rottweiler standing behind it. And Trump's clueless to all of this. Trump thinks everybody's his friend. Qatar showers them with some money. MBS showers them with some money. So what did we do? We fought their civil war for them. It's not Saudi planes invading Iran. It's not Turkish planes invading Iran. It's not Egyptian planes bombing Iran. No, it's American plane. It's American plane. And at the end of the day, they fucking hate Israel. They do. They do. Netanyahu's an idiot. They placated Netanyahu into thinking, "Oh yeah, you're good, man. You're fine." The moment Israel is weak, and they're getting there, following Netanyahu, Israel is getting weaker by the day. The moment they reach a point that they feel comfortable, Syria, backed by Turkey, will invade Israel. They will. And we're making it happen. We're making it happen. Because if there's one thing that can make the entire Middle East and Muslim community, there's no monolith there. There isn't. People do that. But there is one thing that can make them all unify. It is Americans bombing. Remember how they reacted in Iraq when we were in Iraq? These were not our friends. These were not our friends. They just weren't. As long as we're serving their purpose, as long as we're serving their purpose, they'll continue to use us. They will. But when this gets ugly, like right now, you already have Saudi Arabia telling its own population, we've abandoned them. That's why our refineries gotten blown up. That's why Iranian missiles are landing on us, because the United States only cares about Israel and is only defending Israel. Mohammed bin Salman, the same guy that went to Trump and said, "Oh, buddy, do this for us, man. We got your back. You can use our bases. Woo, we got you, man. It'll be in and out quick. You'll look like a hero." Is now telling his people, we've abandoned them. That's a rumor, Barb. That's a rumor. Turkey doesn't want nuclear weapons. They conventionally, they're about as stout as it comes. That's why we got into this, folks. Netanyahu's a freaking idiot who must constantly have an enemy. Mossad, everybody talks about Mossad. Oh, Mossad runs this, or AIPAC runs that. These people are not as powerful as the myth that people create for them. They aren't. They aren't. If Mossad was so freaking great, you would think that they would see exactly where this is leading Israel, which is out of existence. But no, they're just as stupid as Netanyahu. I am telling my friends on the left in Israel, you had better wake up. This election in October better be earth-shattering, or you are just as fucked as we are here in the United States if we don't turn out. That is just a fact. It is what they call nut-cutting time. So where does this end? Well, MBS doesn't want to be in a hot war with Iran. Neither does any of his neighbors. As long as we're willing to slug it out with Iran, they're perfectly willing to help that happen. But there's no support for this war in the United States. There's none. This is going to end up collapsing. Support for it, the funding for it, people are going to be looking at around when these funding bills start trying to go through Congress. This is over. This is leading to a midterm election, and they're going to try to pass funding bills for this shit. Oh no, this is going to collapse. This is going to vaporize like a fart in a hurricane. And when that happens, Saudi Arabia doesn't want to be at war with Iran. They don't. They don't. All they wanted to do was have their Sunni bloc work together to diminish Iran so that Saudi Arabia could have more power. Recep Erdogan, same thing. Same thing. So where does that leave the people of Iran? Pardon me, Iran. Boy, if I get that email again, I swear to God. Iran. Whew, people are pissed off that I pronounce it like a hick Texan, Iran. Where does that leave the people of Iran? not in a good place. Not in a good place. Because none of their neighbors have their best interests in mind. The Trump regime doesn't really have their best interests in mind. None of this is about the Iranian people. Israel sure as fuck doesn't care about the people of Iran. It leaves Iran like the Kurds, like the Palestinians. Their neighbors are more than happy to use them and then fuck them. So what does that translate to? Terrorism. Terrorism. When you put a people in that situation, they will fight by any means necessary, any means possible. They can't get into a straight up kicking ass contest with their neighbors. They can't get into a straight kicking ass contest with us or even Israel for that matter. Terrorism is what they will resort to. But that regime isn't going anywhere. There are people that were talking about Reza Pahlavi. He is the descendant of the Shah that is, he doesn't even live in Iran. There are people like, oh yeah, the Iranian people really want him. No, they don't. I was listening to a very, very, very intelligent Iranian professor talk about Pahlavi and where the people are. They're exhausted. They want this oppressive, abusive regime to go away. If it ends up being Pahlavi, oh well. They don't want that guy. They're in a perfect situation to have someone step up and use them for his benefit. They are. The people of Iran are exhausted. If someone comes along and makes all the right promises, that's all it'll take. That is all it will take. And that's not exactly the best for the people of Iran. It's not. So yeah. What can we do about it? Clean up your own fucking backyard first. Clean up your own backyard first. You can't help Gaza. You can't do shit for Gaza until Democrats have power. Then you've got some muscle to flex in the Democratic Party. You can't help the people of Iran out. The Trump regime doesn't give a shit about the people of Iran. If it doesn't benefit them, as soon as they figured out that there's no rah-rah support, ooh, rockets, red glare, bombs bursting in air. As soon as they found out that that shit didn't start getting sung everywhere, Republicans were like, please don't ask us to pass a funding bill. Clean up your own backyard first. Then you can help other people. Put your own oxygen mask on first. Then you can help other people. Because if you don't put your own oxygen mask on first and you try to help other people, what you're going to end up doing is passing out and destroying our country and your ability to help anyone. It's really that simple. It's so simple, a flight attendant can explain it to you. So yeah, We have tremendous momentum. Look at the numbers coming out of this election. This is a primary. Democrats don't show up to that. We buried the Republicans. We flipped a red seat in Arkansas yesterday. The momentum is at our back. Do not allow anyone to attack our candidates, whether it's Talerico, whether it doesn't matter. Nothing suppresses our votes. We plow through the next election. We elect as many Democrats as possible. And we go to work. We terrify the Republicans into decency. That's the plan, man. It's the only way forward. You want to help the people of Iran? It's the only way forward. You want to help the people of Gaza? It's the only way forward. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's what I've got for you today, folks. I hope you find it useful. I hope the information has been useful. I hope it gives you some eye-opening, as to where this is going with the conflict in Iran. We're going to continue to escalate because the news coming out isn't good. Trump was already in trouble, so they're going to do everything. They're going to waste munitions and lives. Treasure munitions and lives, trying desperately to come up with something. They're already, trying to start another conflict in Central America and South America. Folks, stay focused. Get involved with your local Democratic Party. You saw what happened in Dallas and Williamson County. If you're involved with the local Democratic Party, this kind of confusion doesn't happen. Enjoy some Texas cities at night.